You made a mistake at work in Japan. Now you need to apologize in writing in Japanese. But how do you say sorry without sounding too casual or too dramatic? In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what to write in a Japanese apology email, step by step, so you can actually stay professional, rebuild trust, and avoid awkward misunderstandings. My name is Sean Naren, and I help professionals working in Japan boost their careers through practical Japanese communication skills. I'm originally from Japan, and I currently work in a Japanese company, so everything I teach comes directly from real workplace experience. Let's talk about why this matters. Japanese business culture is built on politeness, formality, and then showing accountability. A badly written apology can harm your reputation, but on the other hand, a well-written one can actually restore trust and even strengthen relationships. You don't have to be perfect, you just need to follow the structure. Let's break it down to 5 parts. First, we're going to have greeting, and then we have apology phrase, brief explanation, the solution, and then the closing. All right, I'm going to do one by one, so let's get started. The first one is the greeting part. We call this aisatsu. You can use words like お世話になってます. This is the basic thing, the basic phrase that you can use at the first part of your sentence, of your email. お世話になっております. Your company name and your name. So if I'm Sean that works at Apple, you can say お世話になってます. Appleの Sean です. Or we usually use our last name. So my last name is Naren. Apple no Naron です. All right, that's the first part. So in the email, after you tell who you are, you want to now apologize. And what are some good phrases that you can use when it comes to apologizing? The first thing I would recommend saying is this sentence. この度はご迷惑をおかけして申し訳ございませんでした. Guys, that's a really long sentence, so let me break it down to bits and pieces. The first part, この度は, means whatever you messed up or screwed up, it means during these events. So maybe you forgot to do something, maybe you did something that you didn't want to do. It means everything included, like whatever I did. All right. The first part is この度は whatever I did during these few days, and ご迷惑をおかけして申し訳ございませんでした, which means I'm very sorry for causing a lot of trouble. All right. And after that, you can say ご不便をおかけしましたことを心よりお詫び申し上げます. Again, ご不便をおかけしましたこと, which means whatever problem that I caused, and 心よりお詫び申し上げます means I'm sorry. So again, guys, let's go from the top. この度は, all right, let's go from that part. During these past few days, or whatever I screwed up, I'm very sorry for causing a lot of trouble. All right, and then we've got whatever trouble that I caused, I really want to apologize from the deepest part of my heart. All right, so you're essentially apologizing twice in these 2 sentences. And after apologizing, you also want to explain. You don't want to just apologize and leave. You want to explain why you screwed up, because it's your chance to actually rebuild that trust. All right, so why you screwed up, you can say システムの不具合により納期が遅れてしまいました. Which means because of a malfunction, like the system wasn't working, so the deadline was delayed. I was not able to actually give you the product or give you an update in time. All right. 不具合, システムの不具合 is kind of a problem in the system. 不具合 is a problem, right? 納期が遅れました is the deadline was delayed. I could not give you whatever you wanted in time. Okay, this is where you actually explain yourself and build trust. You talked about the problem, you apologized, and then you explained why it happened. Now you want to talk about the solution or the next step. You can say 現在再発防止のため原因を調査しております. Currently, we're looking into the problem. We're investigating because we don't want it to happen again. Okay, let's break it down to bits and pieces again. 現在 is now. 再発防止のため is in order for it to not happen again. All right, and 原因を調査しております is we're investigating the reason. 原因 is reason. 調査 is to investigate. So after you talked about the solution, there's nothing else to say in the email, so you close the email by saying 今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます, which means thank you for cooperation and let's work together on this again, kind of thing. All right, we don't have a word or phrase for this in Japanese. It's kind of like, or in English, it's kind of saying best regards or sincerely. All right, again, 今後とも何卒よろしくお願い申し上げます. This is a good, polite and clear way to actually end the conversation, close the email, right? So please use this phrase. It's a really useful one. I use it a lot at work as well. And guys, before we finish the video, I wanted to give you like a template, like here's what a complete Japanese business apology email might look like. All right, so you can use this and reference it whenever you need to write an email. Okay, so let's forget about the subject for now. We're going to talk about the sentence, the actual email. All right, so remember we had 5 parts, right? This is the intro, who you are. Let's talk about that. お世話になってます。ABC 株式会社の田中です。Again, hello, and your company name and who you are. Okay? この度は納品が遅れてしまい、大変ご迷惑をおかけしましたことをお詫び申し上げます。You're apologizing. Alright, and here you're talking about the reason. You're explaining why. システムのトラブルにより予定より1日遅れての納品となりました。Because there was a problem in the system, we were delayed by 1 day. Right, so our plan was probably Tuesday, but it became Wednesday. Right, the deadline. And then what you're doing now, this is the solution. 現在、原因の特定と再発防止に向けて対応中でございます。Which means we're looking at why, investigating why this happened, the cause, and we're trying to not make it happen again in the future. All right, and then the last part is the closing part. 今後とも essentially like 今後ともよろしくお願いします。Forget the difficult part right here. 今後ともよろしくお願い申し上げます。And also some common mistakes to avoid. I kind of wanted to add this part as well in this video because there are a lot of mistakes that you want to avoid. You never want to say, for example, すみません. Instead, you want to say 申し訳ございません because you're apologizing, right? So すみません seems like I'm kind of sorry about it. It sounds like that. It sounds a little too casual. 申し訳ございません sounds very apologetic. It sounds very formal, and it's a good one, right? And also explaining too much sounds like you're making excuses. So remember, there's a part where you introduce the problem, you tell them the problem, and explain why it happened, right? When you do this too much, it sounds like you're making excuses. So you want to avoid that as well. And also, guys, about the solution part, do not forget to offer a solution, okay? If you don't include the solution in your email, they're going to think like, so what am I supposed to do, right? So always include that solution. And the last thing that you never want to do is not matching the tone of your recipient, is not a good thing as well. So if you're too soft or too harsh, it's not good. Depending on who's receiving the email, is it your boss? You probably want to be a little formal. Is it your coworkers? You could be a little casual, but not too much, right? So you always want to match the tone. Okay, not too soft or not too harsh. You want to kind of always be in the middle. All right, so now you know how to apologize professionally in a Japanese email. Guys, by the way, if you'd like a downloadable version of this full email example that I shared today, I actually give it exclusively for students who are inside my Business Japanese training program. So guys, if you're serious about mastering this kind of communication, feel free to check out the link below. I have an application form, so if you're interested, if you want to do it together, please apply there. All right, guys, thanks. I'll talk to you in our next one. Bye-bye.